Let the galaxy burn.
Hi guys, Skypoint here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how to build a deck for Barban Falk and then watching 3 Alpharius players get beaten with him high on the Terra ladder, around 33,800 ranking. Why are we focusing on beating 3 Alpharius players? Well, we know that people who play Alpharius to increase your hand size and then play the harrowing to kill you with your own hand, well, those people are honorless, and nothing is more fun than watching the honorless get beaten. More seriously, a lot of people find the Alpha Legion really hard to play against because of that strategy. So with this deck, you'll see a way that of playing the game which relies on killing the Alpha Legion pretty much before they can trigger their little harrowing shenanigans. Alright, enough of that. Let's go ahead and talk some Barban. So Barban Falk is interesting. He's an epic or orange warlord, meaning the border of his card is orange. It's not referring to the fact that he himself is physically orange as well. He's got 2 attack and 35 health in common with all the epic warlords. And he's got some interesting abilities. He starts with an extra card, which is actually added by the devs to try to balance him because he seemed a bit weak compared to the rest of the epic warlords. But then he's got this neat energy ability. You spend 1 energy and all of the rest of your units on the board, they gain +2 attack until the end of your turn. However, they take 1 point of damage to them. So when you look at that, initially you might think that, well, okay, the way you play Barban Falk is you dump lots of units onto the board at once, then you buff them all for 1 energy, and you murder the enemy with them. It turns out that's pretty ineffective, but there is one way to build Barban Falk which works. It works pretty well all through the ladder because you don't need the legendary cards to make it work. And it works almost all the way up to 4,000 ranking and even beyond, so it's workable all the way to the highest levels of the game. Okay, so with this deck build, you will actually use Barban Falk's ability once only in the whole game. And you will use it to pretty much buff a single unit of yours, and you will use that single unit to kill the enemy in 1 turn. Okay, let's take a look at how that's possible. This deck will rely on a core of 3 cards in particular, so I'm going to take a moment to talk through those before we actually look at the whole deck. The first of those cards is Tyranthikos Veteran. So this is widely assumed to be one of the best troop cards in the game in terms of balancing its cost versus its impact. So it's a Astartes unit. It costs 4 energy, and it initially has pretty average stats for 4 energy. Slightly below average attack, only 3 attack, and slightly above average health, 6 health. The real magic starts to come in its relentless ability. At the beginning of each of its turn, it will damage itself. It deals 1 point of damage to itself, which triggers its second ability. Every time Tyranthikos Veteran takes damage from any source, it gains +2 attack. So it means that this unit, assuming you play it in like your 3rd turn, at the beginning of your 4th turn, it will no longer have 3 attack. It has 5 attack, although it's gone down to 5 health. That's pretty neat. But we're going to combo this with another card from the Iron Hands, which is Harsh Discipline. With Harsh Discipline, you play this onto one of your troops, and it gains Bloodthirst, meaning it can attack twice, and unfortunately that unit will take 1 point of damage. So when you think about what that does to our little friends, the Tyranthikos Veterans, so you play them in your 3rd turn. At the beginning of your 4th turn, they do 1 point of damage to themselves, so they go up to 5 attack and 5 health. Then you play Harsh Discipline on them, which gives them Bloodthirsty, which allows them to act twice. And what that then does is it increases them to 7 attack and 4 health. But that's not all. Remember, Barban Falk for 1 energy gives +2 to all of his units and then damages them for 1 point. So once your Tyranthikos Veterans are boosted by Harsh Discipline, so they are 7 attack and 4 health, you activate Barban Falk's ability and they go up to 9 attack and they take 1 point of damage from Falk, so they're on 3 health. But every time they take a point of damage, they gain +2 attack. So then they take a bonus to their attacks, so when their rage triggers after Falk activates them, they go up to 11 attack and then 3 health. Now with a dude like that, if you imagine, you attack the enemy warlord. Most enemy warlords have 2 attack. They hit the enemy warlord and now they're on 1 health and their 11 attack has boosted to 13. And you gave them bloodthirsty, meaning they can act twice from harsh discipline. And so they can attack the enemy warlord for a second time with 13 attack. That means Tyranthikos Veterans in 1 turn can deal 24 points of damage to the enemy warlord. Quite often, that's enough to kill them outright, depending on how late in the game you've played them and what you've been doing up to that point. So that's incredibly cool. The only watch out is people know you're going to be doing this. So they try to kill these guys as soon as they appear, which is where the third important card comes in, Escape Vent. It's a 0 cost card which hides your unit for 1 turn. Alright, cool. So let's go ahead now and take a look at how we actually build this deck, the Falconing. Alright, so as I mentioned, the core of this deck are 2 Tyranthikos Veterans, 2 Harsh Disciplines, and 2 Escape Vents. So, the next thing we're going to do is we want a way of making sure that we can get all 3 of those cards into our hand as soon as possible. Tyranthikos Veterans is the easy one to deal with. We're going to put 2 of the Rhino 77235 vehicles from the Iron Hands into here. So this card has pretty average stats for 3 energy, so it's honestly worth it for 3 energy alone. But at the end of your turn, so pretty much guaranteed when you play this card, you will draw a Space Marine Astartes from your deck. In this deck, Tyranthikos Veteran is the only Astartes card we have. So every time you play Rhino 77235, if you don't have your Tyranthikos Veterans already, you will get one from this card. The next thing we want to do is make sure that we cycle through our deck as fast as possible to pull out Escape Vent and Harsh Discipline. So we're going to go through a bunch of cards which are designed to pull things out of the deck for us. The first is Void Engagement, which damages the enemy while cycling through our deck. Lectitio Divinatus cycles through our deck quickly as well, although unfortunately it gives the enemy a card too. Abandoned Supplies is going to help go through our deck and discount cards. Precision Bombardment is there to deal damage to the enemy while also cycling through our deck. So it's a very useful card for this build because of that. It helps you to clear the enemy board of weak units while it helps you to dig through and find your Escape Vents and your Harsh Disciplines. And then lastly, we've got the Bitter End, which is sort of the inverse of Precision Bombardment. Precision Bombardment is a very offensive card, which helps you to cycle through your deck. The Bitter End is a defensive card. It throws up 2 barricades, so structures with front line, 1 attack, and 3 health, and it draws a card for you. Alright. The next couple of things in our deck are sort of control cards, so things to deal with the enemy. And the first is going to be that when you have your Tyranthikos Veterans and he's souped up with massive attacks, what's going to wreck your day is going to be frontline units. So the first thing we have to do with frontline units is Ambassador Melgator. Most front lines in this game are infantry or space marines, and Melgator will send them back to where they came from and pave the way for your veterans. And he'll do that in a pretty efficient way. He only costs 2 energy. The next card for doing that is going to be Ancient Ren. So this is a legendary for the Iron Hands. When you put him into play, although he is very expensive, he's going to destroy any enemy troop which has front line. So that helps you clear the enemy a little that way too. Okay, the next couple of cards are going to be there for thinning out the enemy herd, as it were. So you'll notice we don't have that many troops in this game, in this build. So you're not going to have board control, so you're going to rely on your tactics to control the numbers of the enemy. First up, Superior Firepower. This is great. It destroys a troop with 3 or less attack That's usually pretty neat for killing the weak enemy troops in the first couple of turns, but it's often worth sitting on superior firepower until you really need to use it, because this guy makes mincemeat of the Helios Mortar Carrier, which is a 6 energy unit with 2 attack, 7 health, and deals 3 points of damage at the end of each turn. So superior firepower can just send that thing away and make it die. Okay, we also have Seek and Destroy, 2 of them. Just again, it's a very cheap card, only costs 2 energies, that's efficient to play, and with 3 damage it can clear out a lot of stuff on the board. We also then have, where's it gone here? Viral Bombs. So this is there as an emergency measure mostly, in case you lose board control, the enemy's filled up their slots. If you plan things right, you can use viral bombs to reset the board, do a ton of damage, and hopefully get things under control. And lastly, we've got Contrador, which is there, so it's a damage card. You really don't want to use it on enemy units, because as soon as you play it, it goes into the enemy deck. Contrador is there as an emergency finisher. In case you're not able to finish the game with Tyranthikos Veterans, Contrador will do it for you if you manage to get the enemy down to 7 health. Okay, that leaves a couple more cards in here. The first is the Beast of Fire. Now this is the most optional card in here. You can replace this with almost anything of your choice. I would recommend putting in anything around 3 or 4 energy cost. Usually you just want it to be something which is going to be incredibly worrying for your enemy, and which they'll prioritize destroying. And the final couple of cards are mostly around healing. So first of all, we've got Ectra Tres. So this guy is useful for healing, but he has another neat trick up his sleeve, which I'll come to in a moment. But basically, well, you know what? I'll come back to that in a second. We also have Pi Alpha 52 from the Mechanicum. These guys are pretty useful. Barban Falk will be taking a lot of damage in here, but especially if you're facing the Alpha Legion, one of your biggest problems is going to be stuns. Either stunning Barban Falk, or worse, people stunning the Tyranthikos Veterans and stopping you from actually being able to attack with them. Pi Alpha 52 will fix that stun for you and hopefully help you to win the game. But speaking of stuns, like I said, Ectra Tres has a special purpose in here. Against anyone but Alpha Legion, he's there to be used mostly as a healer. Against Alpha Legion, there's one card which is your Bane. You might have your Tyranthikos Veteran on the board, and you might have managed to successfully play, Escape Vent on him, so he's hidden. But you're up against Alpha Legions, and what they do is they play Lambda Thunderhawk on the guy next to your Tyranthikos Veteran, and because he's adjacent to the target, he gets stunned. Next turn, his escape vent veers off, he's visible, and he can be killed or worse given a secret order. So this card is your Bane, and when you're facing the Alpha Legion, you need to think very carefully about how you're going to deal with the risk which it represents. Alright, coming back to the deck over here. So that's where Ectra Tres comes in useful. If Ectra Tres is on the board next to your warlord, and you then play your Tyranthikos Veteran beside Ectra Tres and give him an escape vent, if the Thunderhawk gunship hits your warlord, Ectra Tres gets stunned, but the Tyranthikos Veteran does not. And there's no way, as long as Ectra Tres is invisible, there's no way for the enemy to target the unit next to your Tyranthikos Veteran, because it's Ectra Tres and he's invisible and can't be targeted, and so you're safe. Alright. And what do you do if you don't have these legendaries? The 2 legendaries who are easiest to replace are Melgator and Ancient Trend. The main purpose they serve in this deck is getting rid of frontline units, and you can substitute them very easily with Breach, which also destroys most frontline units in the game. Alright, what next? Let's say if you don't have Contrador. Contrador, again, it's used as a finisher over here. So if you can't use Contrador to deal 7 damage for 5 energy, a sort of cheap ghetto alternative is going to be Rack and Ruin from the Iron Hands, which does 4 points of damage, so 3 less. But if you don't have Contrador, you're probably lower down in the ladder, and 4 damage will hopefully be enough for you to deal with the type of threats you face over there. Alright, and the final one is Extra Tres. As I said, he is sort of there as a healer, but he's most useful because of Alpha Legion tricks. So I would actually say if you don't have Extra Tres, you can substitute a high health unit with stealth. So the best example of that is actually going to be from the Imperial Army, Nisser Scout, who have 1 attack and 3 health, but they have stealth, right? So you can stick them down on the board, have them sit around, and hopefully be a cushion for when your Tyranthikos Veterans appear. The 3 health is important because it gives them a pretty decent chance of surviving area effect cards like artillery strikes or even satellite strikes. Okay, so one last look at the deck, and now let's go ahead and watch this thing crush some Alpharius players. Okay, so in general, what you want to do is mulligan any cards which are not Harsh Discipline or Escape Vent, because those are the hardest cards to get. The only cards you might want to keep are anything which lets you cheaply and quickly cycle through your deck. None of these cards are really doing that, so 3 of these are going back, and I keep the Harsh Discipline. This is better. I've got Void Engagement and Lecticia Divinatus for my first turn.
We are Legion.
There's the Void Engagement, damaging him. Nice.
Greetings. I am Alpharius.
Oh yeah, I bet you are Alpharius. And Lecticia Divinatus, perfect. I got my Escape Vent, so all I'm missing is my Tyranthikos Veteran. This will work out. Surprise, surprise! It's Alpharius. Is he going to try to force me to draw a card? Oh, you bet you will. Alright, he's going to try to harrow me, so he deserves what's coming to him. Unfortunately, I still did not get my Tyranthikos Veterans, so just to prepare for the harrowing, I'm going to try to thin out my hand as fast as I can. Oh yeah, look at that. Asteroid Belt, he's trying to reach 9 energy as fast as he can. Okay, so I need to try to kill him before that happens. Okay, this guy will definitely pull out my Tyranthikos Veteran, so I'll be ready next turn. Here we go. Alright. Oh my god, beast. You know, that's actually not bad, because this thing has the whopping maintenance 3, which means if he starts a turn with this thing alive, he actually cannot play his mass stun card. So this works perfectly. Escape Vent on that. The Thunderhawk gunship costs 5 energy, but on this next turn, because he starts with Beast of Fire in play, he actually only has 3 energy. Watch. So normally I would kill Beast of Fire as soon as possible, but in this case I want to make sure he does not have 5 energy, so I left it alive. I can kill him now anyway, like 23 health, okay, 20 health. When I play my Harsh Discipline on this guy, I'm gonna win. Except he's got a Catacombs of Tisca. All the Alpharius seem to rock that these days. That is most annoying. Alright, let's take that thing out. I don't have any more escape vents or anything, so all I can do here is try to drop my second veterans and hope he can't have... Oh man, a second catacomb, so okay, I can't do anything this turn either. Now these guys are just hanging out there, all vulnerable, slowly dying, and there's so many things which could go wrong here. Alright, we're getting perilously close to the harrowing turn. I've got to win soon. Gonna use superior firepower to make that Jubak go away. Let's drop the bitter end to try to protect my guys a little. And not much else I can do. Okay, this is it. Do or die. Okay, he stuns my veteran. Oh, he plays a Ghost Legionary. I think this is over. Okay, he's gonna try to use that free escape vent to protect his Ghost Legionary, but this is gone for him. I've actually got 2 of these Pi Alpha guys, So now watch what happens. I don't even care that I lost my second harsh discipline to having a full command.
Can't overpower me.
So, gonna heal and unstun my veteran over there. Next, I play harsh discipline on him to give him bloodthirsty and also damage him, which gives him more attack. And that's it. I don't even have to use Falk's ability now. From 20 health to 0 health in one unit's turn. Boom. Okay, so that match gave you a little bit of an idea of how this deck can play. Let's go ahead and see another match, actually against the same player. He's been playing Alpharius all day, because, you know, he's got no honor. Okay, so again, as I said, the most important cards to have are Harsh Discipline and Escape Vent. Tyranthikos Veterans is slightly easier to pull out because the Rhino can do that. So I'm going to put away all my cards. Okay, I've got Harsh Discipline. That's the first of the cards which I need.
We are Legion.
Abandoned Supplies. Okay, well it sucks that it gave me a card which costs 0 anyway. It would have been nice to get like a cheap veteran, but whatever. Ooh, okay, Alpharius. Boo, boo. And yeah, he's trying to make me draw a card, so I'm not even going to feel bad for what I'm going to do to him. Okay. Let's just pull out Extra Tres. As I said, I like having him as a little buffer for whenever I do get my Tyranthikos Veteran. Yeah, Ghost Legionary. Well, this is one of those things that superior firepower is good for. Ghost Legionary gets buffed up to 3 attack, but superior firepower destroys anything with 3 attack or less. Still no sign of my Tyranthikos Veteran though. That's vexing. Okay, he brings out his own pocket healer and damage to me. Okay, that's good. He's getting close to the magic 24 health. Lectitio Divinatus. Boo. Okay, another Lectitio Divinatus. Oh, okay, at least I got the Rhino. The Rhino is a guaranteed Tyranthikos next turn. I didn't put the Rhino next to Extra Tres because remember, I need to make sure the spot to the right of Extra Tres is free for the Tyranthikos Veteran to go. Man, he's really trying to set up a harrowing here, isn't he? Look at my hand. Okay, I've got a few turns to make this work, so now watch what happens. I play my Tyranthikos Veteran, and again, even if he hits any of the visible targets now with the Thunderhawk gunship, the veterans will not be stunned because I kept them next to the invisible Extra Tres. Okay, he's at the critical health. I can kill him next turn. Here's another veteran. Nice. Oh god, Catacombs of Tiska. Okay, so there's a couple ways I can now handle this situation. My problem is my little veteran here is now exposed. Watch, he's exposed and he's starting to take damage. I could have given him the escape vent and then relied on my healing guy next turn, but instead I use my Melgator to bring him back into my hand and put him back into play and drop escape vent. That way my healing guy is still there in case Falk himself gets stunned this turn. Because when he's on 24 health, I have to use the full power of the falconing move. So I've got to use Falk's ability to buff the veterans, and I can't use that if he's stunned, so I'm keeping the Pi Alpha in case I need to unstun Falk. In this case, it turned out to actually not be necessary. So now watch as I can just finish this guy off. He's on 27 health at the beginning of his turn, well 25 health, but he's so far in the danger zone that he's just going to die now in one turn. Watch. 22 health. Use Falk's ability to buff all my units. Harsh Discipline onto my veteran. Now he's got 11 attack. Attack with the veteran. Now the veteran's got 13 attack. Attack with Melgator, he's got 8 health. Attack with Ektra, he's got 4 health. Hit him with Precision Bombardment, he's got 1 health. And just to hammer home the message, now I hit him, minus 12. So he went from 25 health to minus 12 health in 1 turn. That's the power of the falconing. Alright, and lastly, let's go ahead and look at the final match against an Alpharius. This match sort of, it actually shows off the really annoying thing about the Alpha Legion. Well, no spoilers, let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so I start with Harsh Discipline and Escape Vent. That's actually incredibly encouraging. I'm putting away Viral Bombs and Precision Bombardment because I'm hoping that Abandoned Supplies will bring me a cheap Tyranthikos Veterans very early in the game. Let's see what happens.
Iron cometh strength.
We are Legion.
Surprise! It's Alpharius.
Victory.
Also surprise, he's trying to fill up my hand. I wonder what he's going to do in his 9 energy turn. Okay, Contrador's decent. That's a great finisher to have. Abandoned Supplies. Give me a veteran, give me a veteran. Nope, I get a cheap Lectitia Divinatus. Boo. A second Escape Vent, I guess. Alright, let's see what goes on here.
I know you.
Okay, there's that Lectitia Divinatus, and I think my hand is almost full now. My hand will be totally full now. Oh no, buy my second Harsh Discipline. This means I can only pull off one of those falconing super moves. Okay, but here's my Tyranthikos Veteran. Now I'm ready for action. Okay, he's trying to use my own card to increase his hand size. That's fine. Okay, so now remember, I want to try to play the veterans in such a way, ideally, that I can't get them stunned. So now watch what I do. I don't care about my second Escape Vent anymore, because without a second Harsh Discipline, I can't pull off this move more than once. So instead, I make my veterans invisible, but I also make the sleeper agent invisible so that he cannot hit the sleeper agent with a Thunderhawk Alpha and then stun both my units on either side. So he spends 5 energy bringing out the Pale Spear, and now it's time for the Falconing Super Punch. In fact, this is the bonus version of that, because look what I do. I even buff the sleeper agent. Let's give a Harsh Discipline. So he's on 32 health right now. 21 health.
I am Alpharius.
8 health. And 3. So he's gone from 32 to 5 health. With any other warlord, this would pretty much be game over at this point. But Alpha Legion have some special tricks up their sleeve. His hand is full, so he is actually losing cards. But he plays one of many, and he heals up to 10. Yep, up to 10. Next, he plays his new Alpharius card, and he's healed up to 15.
True victory.
Although he only has 2 energy left, and he drops another sleeper agent. Boo. Alright. That's fine. I'm feeling pretty comfortable at this point. Well, look at that, okay. Slightly less comfortable. Another point of damage. Okay, I'm still feeling good. Okay, the harrowing feels like it's really coming here, so I need to try to empty out my hand as much as I can. I'm going to drop my precision bombardments on him by using them up in a way that I don't kill any units. They're not pulling out cards into my hand. Okay, he's in range now to get killed by Contrador. Except he's Alpha Legion.
For the Emperor.
And now I'm stunned. Okay. There's another point of damage. Okay, let's just keep attacking him over there. Heal myself. I should have actually unstunned myself, activated my ability, and then attacked him with the sleeper agent, but well, whatever. Bye bye sleeper agent, I don't need you anymore. I just need to empty out my hand. Okay, I'm 2 turns away from the falconing. Beast of Fire is at least discounted. He tries to be smart and copy my medic, but his hand was full. He didn't realize that.
I like that.
Okay, so he's just trying to do more damage to me in preparation for the harrowing. There we go. Boom. It's getting dangerous. Oh god, Catacombs at Tisca. Alright, well. Okay, he's trying to... Should have used that on me, but he's just trying to draw cards. I don't know why. Alright, well, that was his mistake. He could have won right there. Well, you'll see why. Let's keep trying to empty out my hand. Get rid of the barricades. Get rid of the Beast of Fire. And get rid of superior firepower by unfortunately hitting my own barricade. Well, the barricade would die anyway from the harrowing which is coming now. There we are, harrowing. But because I emptied out my hand, I only had 5 cards in there, meaning I took 5 points of damage. And he's worried about attacking me because he doesn't want to get down to low health because of the amount of direct damage cards the Iron Hands have. Iron Warriors have, rather. But it's not enough to save him. I attack him directly, he's on 7 health. For Contrador, finishes him off. Boom. Alright, so hopefully that's given you some ideas. If you haven't tried the falconing already, it's really fun. Go ahead and try to set it up. As I said, you don't need all the legendaries. The more you have, the more it helps. But the real core of this deck is made with easy to grab cards. Tyranthikos Veterans, Harsh Discipline, and Escape Vent. And then everything around that is mostly around just drawing cards or trying to keep the enemy board clear. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead, try out the falconing for yourselves and let me know what you think. Remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed to me already. And stay tuned for the next video coming soon. Alright, bye for now guys.